But it is time to bring in our guy, Patrick No C Walker. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to it. What's good brother?
What's up, my boy?
Hey man, we just have a little fun about the maturation of going from 94 miles per hour to 66, and just my goodness.
Man, listen, it's all about growth. That's growth, right?
That's
You
growth,
know,
apparently.
when Jerry said that yesterday, I rubbed my temple, and I was just like, I guess this is what we're doing now. I know he said it as kind of like tongue in cheek, but I know he was kind of halfway serious as well. So I'm just like, you know what? All right, sir. If that's how you want to view it, you know.
Immediately, I went, what?
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I mean, that's one way to put a positive spin on it, but okay, I guess that's where we are. So if he sees that as progress, then he has every right to see that as progress. And for Sam Williams, I would just hope that we see more of a maturation
Hmm.
over the course of his NFL career than simply, measuring that by MPH per pullover.
Purple. It's
So,
crazy.
and we're not gonna let's not. I don't want to have to put that stat on Sam to be like,
Facts.
okay, latest pullover. What's his average MPH, and that's how we're gonna gauge his. That come on, Jerry, stop that, stop that, stop
We got Patrick No C Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Speaking of MPH, man, these last couple practices, I got a chance to see a guy like Brandon Cooks up close and personal at camp yesterday in Frisco. And my goodness, what y'all were talking about
that.
is so damn real. This guy has this gear that he just hits mid route, and I feel like you can see the speed graphics behind him when it's happening. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's different, and I know that we've been trying to articulate that to the audience as far as what you see on film is one thing, but I'm telling you guys, ladies and gentlemen, when you see it in real life, it's just something else. So, like you said, Steele, I mean, he has that extra gear that he hits at the top of his route. He can hit it mid route. He hits it right out of his break. I mean, he hits it right before his breakdown. It's ridiculous. It is insane how quickly he can get in and out of his breaks, how quickly he can go from 0 to top speed. And then his top speed isn't really his top speed, because when the ball is in the air, there's another top speed that's waiting for him to track that ball. So he's just going to make it very, very fun for Dak Prescott.
And that leads me to our topic today, which is Cowboys camp superlatives. And I purposely started off with Brandon Cooks because I'm trying to persuade your answer here. So let's start off, okay? Most likely to make their first Pro Bowl this season, based off what you're seeing down at camp.
Well, here's what's funny, and this is why it's great that we are so often on the same frequency. My answer here is Brandon Cooks.
Here we go.
And it's not because you did a Jedi mind trick on me, because I have a receipt. There's a mailbag, I want to say from early July on the .com that posed the question, who do I feel like is going to step up and get their first Pro Bowl this season? And I said Brandon Cooks, and here was my explanation, same one I'm about to give to you now. It's because he's never had one, and quiet as it's kept, not a lot of people know that, because they see, oh, well, he has 6 1,000-yard receiving seasons, and he's well-known, former, top pick, and teams have given up first-rounders for him, and he's been so productive. Of course Brandon Cooks has a Pro Bowl, right? Of course he does. No, he doesn't. But this is the year that he gets it, though, and I think it's not only because he'll deliver another 1,000-yard season, but I think he's going to deliver it for a team that's at the top of the market as far as NFL markets are concerned. So the stage gets no bigger than putting on a Cowboys uniform. And when it comes to Pro Bowl, a lot of it is a popularity contest.
Yeah.
So I think Brandon Cooks is going to come over, hit the ground running, quite literally speaking, get another 1,000 yards, which will mark his 7th 1,000-yard season. But because he'll do it in the Cowboys uniform, and to my estimation, his production in doing so will help the Cowboys likely get over their postseason hump, all signs point to Brandon Cooks being that guy.
I'm right there with you. Y'all can play along too as well in the chat. All right, moving along. Biggest rookie impact.
I'm going to go it would have been really, really nice if I would have been able to say DeMarvion Overshown, because I am day one on that kid all the way. I mean, I mocked him to the Cowboys in my one and only annual mock. I spoke to him at the NFL Combine in Indianapolis. I previewed him at the Combine as far as he should be a guy on the Cowboys' radar, ... And then, unfortunately, he suffers the torn ACL after having a stellar camp and a stellar, beginning to the preseason. So Overshown being off the table, I'm going to go with Deuce Vaughn.
Yep.
I think that's the most likely candidate to be an impact player for the Cowboys in year one. And I think Schoonmaker will probably get more reps. Sounds like he's, almost completely healthy, if not there, just trying to get his strength back is what he told me yesterday. But Deuce, although he won't get as many reps as Schoonmaker, I think his reps will be more productive. His efficiency rate is going to be higher because when he gets a touch of that football, he's going to generate more yards per touch than Schoonmaker probably will because of the way they're going to scheme Deuce open and how they're going to get him the ball in some of those packages. So I'm going to go with Deuce Vaughn. I think the sixth rounder is going to come in and really build on what is also a stellar camp for him, what's a stellar preseason for him, 2 preseason games, 2 touchdowns scored, probably going to go 3 for 3 against the Raiders. I think he comes in effective week 1 and just keeps that ball rolling.
That's something I noticed a couple of days ago at Frisco was the packages they had with Deuce Vaughn and Tony Pollard or Deuce Vaughn and Rico Dowdle. They are using him as that move guy, but also as just a pure running back as well. So he's versatile enough to do so much on offense that they're just going to have to put the ball in his hands. So I'm right there with you. I think he's going to have that impact.
And you're going to see him lined up at wide receiver in that slot every once in a while as well. So they're going to get real creative with him. That ball is going to find Deuce Vaughn, I promise you.
All right, most likely vet to have a career year.
I got 2, and it's 1 on each side of the ball. So first, let me go defense. I'm going to go with Leighton Vander Esch. I think Leighton Vander Esch is primed for to have the best year of his NFL career. I think last year, the injury that cost him a few games in December notwithstanding, he was right there as far as being Pro Bowl LVE. He was right there again. But he also had to contend with not only the injury that took a couple of games from him in December, but Anthony Barr wasn't prime Anthony Barr when he and Anthony Barr were in tandem. Damone Clark, when Damone Clark did come in, he was coming in without an off season of training, without training camp, without preseason, missing the first half of the season. So Damone was a rookie who was thrown into the fire. So when Barr went down and then it was Damone and LVE, Damone showed flashes, but he wasn't the Damone that I know that he can be and likely will be this season, which leads me to this point. I think Damone is the breakout player for the defense this year. And because of that, that's going to allow LVE, who last year showed me he was teetering on that Pro Bowl caliber LVE again, like he was when he was a rookie. And then you tandem him with this version of Damone, the monstrous version of Damone, LVE is going to have a lights out year. Now, offensively, we talked about Cooks. Okay, well, if we're talking about Cooks, then guess what? You got to talk about Lamb and likely Gallup having a bounce-back season. But then you talk about Jalen Tolbert looking like he's ready to be that guy at WR4 and split some reps maybe for WR3 if it goes that far. And then you look at the tight end room. Schoonmaker's healthy. Jake Ferguson looks like he's ready to take that step. Yes, they lose John Stevens, but Hendershot, he showed flashes that he can make plays. Tony Pollard's back there. Deuce Vaughn is back there, who I just said is going to be an impact guy in year 1. Rico Dowdle, he's healthy. You're seeing what a healthy Rico Dowdle looks like. And you have your best 5.
Yeah.
You have Tyron, Tyler, Zach, and Terrence. So I think you know who I'm about to say. It's Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott is going to have the best year he's had in the NFL. If his front 5 remains healthy and intact for even the majority of the season, doesn't even have to be the entirety of it, but the majority of the season, as does his weapons at wide receiver, tight end, running back. I mean, come on. He didn't have this many weapons when he threw for almost 5,000 yards and we're only 2 or 3 yards shy of Tony Romo's single season touchdown record or passing yards record. So I think this is a year where Dak Prescott has heard everything everybody has said. He talked about the interceptions. Every time he's on the mic, every time he's in front of the camera, somebody's asking him about the interceptions. Every time he's on the mic, somebody's asking him, and I was the one who said, hey, is the Super Bowl a bust? He's like, it always is. I think Dak Prescott shuts everybody up. Every one of his haters gets shut up this year. So that's going to be fun and quite a ride I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, I agree with you on there. I have one for the defense side of the ball I want to talk to the chat about, but I know we got a time crunch here, so I'll just listen to the show later. I got one for you, though. Next one.
Oh, I always listen back.
Got you.
Always listen back.
Camp hype that might not carry over into the season for 2023.
Camp hype that might not carry over.
Whether it's a player or a thing or whatever that's getting hype in camp that may not carry over in the season. Because every year is one of those guys.
Yeah, I had an answer for this, and it blanked out. So let me try to regenerate this.
Because so you know how last year it was T.J. Vasher, and he didn't even make the team.
Dennis Houston.
Dennis Houston is the other one, right?
Vasher,
Dennis Houston,
Houston.
Yeah. Those type guys. Is it a possible Jaylen Brooks situation? Where he's having a good camp.
Jaylen Brooks is my answer for another question.
Okay.
Actually, no. You know what? I think he's my answer for this one. Yeah. Okay. Here's why. He is the answer for this one because my justification for it just came up in my head. So yeah, he is. So good looking out, Steele. See, you and I, we work together.
Gotcha.
Jaylen Brooks has had a very, very good camp, to say the least. The problem for Jaylen Brooks going into the season, and the reason why I challenge his hype to carry over from camp to the regular season, is because of the uphill climb to step over Jalen Tolbert and then try to siphon some reps from Tolbert and Gallup, because nobody's siphoning reps from Cooks and Lamb. That's just not going to happen. So you got 4 definitive wide receivers in Lamb, Cooks, Gallup, and Tolbert. And then now you're looking at 5 and 6. Okay, well, the 6th wide receiver is going to be Turpin, okay? And assume that Turpin gets some kind of play on offense because it looks like that's what it's trending towards, so he's going to get some reps. So if Jaylen Brooks is, in fact, 5 or 6, however you want to dice that up, if you say Turpin is 5 and Brooks is 6, I mean, how many offensive reps are there to be had at that point when you start factoring in the tight ends and the running backs? It's just the pie isn't big enough as far as offense for a rookie like Jaylen Brooks to come in. And I think he's talented. He's going to get his. It's not like he's going to leave the season with no touchdowns. He's a red zone threat. He has the build. He's going to get some targets. But if anybody's going into the regular season thinking Jaylen Brooks, he's going to be that guy, there's no room for him to be that guy right now because Tolbert has taken the step forward. For me, I think Jaylen Brooks is the best candidate for the hype not carrying over immediately. Now, can it translate in 2024? Maybe we'll see, because Gallup's contract is going to be revisited at that point as far as does it restructure, whatever. But it'll be time for that conversation later. But as for right now, it's going to be hard for Jaylen Brooks to carry that over. I think he makes the team, but then from there, where do you go? I mean, he's going to be mostly special teams and kind of spot duty on offense.
Now, I'm gonna sandwich these two questions together here. And on the flip side of the camp hype, the camp player that's been questioned the most, right? But he's going to flip the narrative during the season. And then the one guy who won't make the 53-man roster, but you have to keep on the practice squad. Go.
The one who is going to make everybody flip their narrative is Mozzie Smith.
Yeah, that's what I got.
Already tired. I'm already tired of people talking about Mozzie Smith. And the funny thing is, I can tell when people are regurgitating what they're being told. So when you say things to me like, "Oh, Mozzie Smith's get off isn't quick enough," and I ask you to describe the timing of his get off at Michigan versus the timing in training camp, you don't have an answer. So you actually haven't measured the timing. No, see, it's the eyeball test. Well, everyone's eyeballs aren't the same. Mr. Magoo has 2 eyes as well. That doesn't mean he sees the same thing that you and I see, right? Bottom line is, people need to understand that Mozzie Smith, the reason I agree his get off is a little bit slower, but the reason it's a little bit slower is because the Cowboys are tweaking his stance. They're tweaking his stance. because they want to try to unlock some pass rush ability as well. And they know it's not a Taco Charlton situation where Mazi has to come in and be this definitive pass rusher off the edge immediately. I mean, you got on the interior, you got Jonathan Hankins. He's right there. He's looking great, right? Quentin Bohanna's coming on strong. Neville Gallimore's coming on strong. You got Chauncey Golston. You got guys who can get pressure from the interior. Mazi Smith is, from the outset, he's going to eat up double and triple teams. And then when someone makes a mistake of putting him one-on-one, he's just going to throw somebody out the club and he'll get in the backfield. The get-off is going to get there. It'll be quicker once he gets more acclimated to it. So, Mazi Smith. Second thing was, you said a player that probably won't make the 53 but has to be on the practice squad.
Yeah.
Let me go with I'm going to look at linebacker here. And I'm kind of torn between Devin Harper and Malik Jefferson.
Woo.
Because I'm torn between those two. I feel like they both qualify for the practice squad. Malik Jefferson looked great against the Jaguars, went down with a foot injury, hasn't played since, probably won't play this week. Devin Harper stepped in the absence of Malik Jefferson, looked really good against the Seahawks. Let's see how he looks against the Raiders. So one of those two guys, but let me make a more definitive answer for you. Malik Davis.
Okay.
I don't think there's room for Malik Davis in the running back room just yet. My top three, obviously Pollard, but then I got Dowdle with RB2. I guess people are finally seeing what I was talking about. Dowdle is RB2, Deuce is RB3. Cowboys are not carrying 4 running backs. I'm hard-pressed to believe that, which means Malik Davis, I think he goes to waivers, and I think he clears waivers because last year he had more hype from training camp going into the roster cuts, and he cleared waivers anyway and ended up on the practice squad.
Yep.
So follow that logic, and less hype this year should clear waivers. I think he needs to be on the practice squad. I also think Ronald Jones needs to be on the practice squad. I don't think Ronald Jones makes the 53 for obvious reasons, groin injury plus 2-game suspension, but I don't think the Cowboys need to be done with Ronald Jones. So I think both Malik Davis and Ronald Jones carry those 2 running backs on the practice squad. You got 16 men. You want to make sure that your running back core is insured against injury, and you brought Ronald Jones in to be that post-Ezekiel Elliott insurance. Anyway, you want to continue to develop Malik Davis. So those 2 running backs, definitely, I want to see at least one, hopefully both in the practice squad. And as far as the linebackers, Jefferson or Harper. But if you give me both of those, I won't be mad.
My guy, man. Patrik No C Walker of DallasCowboys.com dropping the science.
Yes, science.
Hey, bro, I appreciate you, man. I know you're on the road, so drive safe. And we're going to see you this weekend for the Cowboys game, or you'll be down there all weekend?
No, I'm going to miss out on this final preseason
Gotcha.
game because Daddy duties. So
Daddy
my baby
duties.
girl turns 11, and we are celebrating her birthday out of state with family. So
Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, I will send her those well wishes. So, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy the Raiders game. I'll peek in as I can, but I won't be following the game because not closely anyway because girl dad. So.
Shouts out to you, bro. I might be joining you there. I'll know soon, though.
Oh, well, wait a minute now. Are you cliffhanger? Now you're putting me on the cliffhanger. Okay,
I am. I'll rap to you. I'll rap to you personally.
What we doing on the birthday of the great Kobe Bryant? Is this what we're doing?
Oh man.
All right, man. I'll holler at you guys, man. Talk to you later, Steve.
All right, brother. That's my guy, No C. Y'all, Patrik in the build. Patrik No C Walker in the building. DallasCowboys.com. Make sure y'all drop these fire emojis for that science. Thanks for watching, and make sure to follow and subscribe to A to Z Dallas so you don't miss an episode of The Scientific Method. Every Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Central on Facebook and YouTube, with every episode available on A to Z Sports.com.